So while everybody's working their way forward, let me introduce our good mayor here. Mr. Mayor?
Thanks, Greg. On behalf of the City of McMinnville and the McMinnville City Council, it is such a pleasure to be able to have an open house, and secondarily, to have an open house on a night that might not be as inviting to have you come out, but to have this many. We really we put a lot of time and effort into the transparency of what we do, and this is one piece of that. Tonight you're going to be able to hear from 4 of our candidates for city manager, and you're going to be able to ask them questions on a one-on-one basis. We've asked you also to fill out comments because we're going to take your comments this evening, and as the council goes back in deliberations, we're going to read your comments to get insights that you might have. So again, on behalf of the city, thank you for coming out. We're feeding you a little bit and a couple of drinks, but it's more importantly that we're thanking you and being a part of the process that we're doing. So I'm going to turn the mic back over to Greg, who is orchestrating our interviewing process. And so Greg, if you take it from there.
All right, thank you. For those of you I have not had the pleasure of meeting yet, I'm Greg Prothman of the Prothman Company. We're the executive search firm assisting the city with this recruitment. We were retained about 3 months ago to start this process. And we were directed to do a national search, which we accomplished, but we really wanted to focus on the Western United States, so we sent out about 1,000 letters of invitation to city managers and city administrators in cities of comparable size in the 14, 15, 16 Western United States. We placed innumerable and lots of ads in the national periodicals and publications also. So we got applications from across the nation. So out of that effort, we received back 30 applications, all from individuals who were in city management. We refined that number down to the top 12 and did interviews with each of those folks, myself. And out of that, we selected the best of the best. And that's what you have here before you tonight. Each one of these folks, I think, without a doubt, have had success in managing cities. They're all professionals in their own right, and at least in my opinion, any one of these folks could be your city manager here. So the question is how do we choose between 4 highly competent individuals? Well, I'll let you in on a small insight, perhaps. As much as we think we're selecting them, they're really selecting us too, because a city manager who stays in a community for 9, 10, 12, 15 years or longer really becomes a fit with that community. Both for all the reasons why you choose to live and work here, they're looking to find out those same insights as to why do you choose to live to work here? What is it that makes this community special? So the fact that you're talking to these folks, interfacing with them, telling them, why you're here, you're helping with that process of fit today. So I thank you for that. So, I probably forgot something. Did I mention that we were going to do this tonight? No, I guess I forgot. What was I thinking? I really do apologize. Yeah, just an oversight on my part. So, gentlemen, if you would do me a favor, please. I only have 3 questions for each of you. Please introduce yourself and anybody that might be here with you. Why is this the right time in your career? Well, no, a brief snapshot of your career, just a brief one, like, maybe 3 minutes. And why is this the right time in your career to come to the good city of McMinnville? And maybe a 4th question. I'm sure you've all done extensive internet search, or perhaps you've been here once or twice before over the years. But now that you've focused on the city as a potential city manager, what surprised you about this community that you didn't, that caught you by surprise, or you went, wow, I didn't know that? So, introduce yourself, brief snapshot of your career, why is this the right time to come, and what surprised you? So do I have any volunteers? All right, got a volunteer.
Thank you. Thanks and good evening. I'm Peter Troedsson. I'm coming to you from the city of Bothell in Washington, so I think I'm the only out-of-state candidate. In the city of Bothell, I serve as the deputy city manager, and I've had that position for the last 3 years. I've taken that position 3 years ago after a 30-year career in the Coast Guard. I was a helicopter pilot as a profession, but then as in most professions, if you are successful in getting promoted continually, you get promoted out of your specialty and you're expected to actually lead and to manage. And you have to leave the fun stuff behind. So no more flying down beaches. Now you have to manage bases and facilities. Why is it a right time? You know, the last 3 years have been a very rewarding period for me. To be able to continue in public service, serving a community the size of Bothell, 44,000 people, where, you know, it's still small enough where you can get to know people very well and be involved with the chamber and the university in town, has been, like I said, it's been educating for me and very, very rewarding. The challenges that confront the city are very similar to some of the challenges that this city confronts. And because I've chosen this as a second career, the next step for me is to move on and to try to seek a city manager position myself. Otherwise, I'm very happy in the city of Bothell, and it's, like I said, it's been very good to me. Surprising thing about McMinnville, you know, when you do your research, when the position comes open and you spend some time on the internet looking at things, you learn acronyms like AVA. And yes, I did not know that this area was actually the center of an AVA, and that's something that I actually think that we have a tourism program in Bothell which is based largely on the Woodinville wine industry, 160 wineries in Woodinville. The thing about it is there's no hotels in Woodinville except for one high-end hotel, and there's 8 hotels in Bothell. So the advertising is come to Bothell so that you can go to Woodinville and taste wine. Anyway, that was a surprising thing. It's a very pleasant surprise, and I'm very happy, glad to be with you. Thank you for taking the time to come out tonight and meet the 4 of us who would like to spend a long time with you all and serve you. Thank you.
We have another volunteer. Good evening. I'm Jeff Towery. I'm in Springfield, Oregon right now. I'm accompanied by my lovely wife Doris in the fetching yellow blazer back there. So I've spent most of my career in Oregon and most of my Oregon career working for cities. I've been a city manager in Coos Bay as an interim. I've been a full-time city manager in Auburn, New York, and in Cottage Grove, Oregon. The last 9 years, I've been the assistant city manager at the city of Springfield. One of the things that appeals to me about McMinnville is the thing that appeals to everyone else. One of the questions that every single panel asks us is why McMinnville, and the short answer is why not. It is a miraculous and wonderful place. But because I've spent most of my career in Oregon and most of that time in the Willamette Valley, I know a little bit about McMinnville. I know I was neighbors with Joe Dancer's nephew. I've known Kent for most of my career, and McMinnville has a reputation as a wonderful community, a community that's committed to professional city management, and it's a great place. We have sunk our roots in the Willamette Valley. This is where one of our children was born and our other child has been raised. They don't know any other home from the Willamette Valley, and so we would be thrilled to bring our family here. Our son has grudgingly agreed to come along with us. Our daughter is ready to perform at any time. One of the things that pleasantly surprised me about McMinnville as I learned more about the community is the agreement that the councilors have with one another about how they engage in civil discourse. And I don't know how many of you are aware of that formal agreement. I can tell you that it is rare. I have worked in and around and know dozens and dozens of city managers, and most all of them would give a body part of one kind or another to have a council that's that committed to civil discourse and doing the business of the city of McMinnville. So I'm looking forward to meeting with you and speaking with you the rest of the evening. Thank you for your time and attention. Absolutely, Dan.
Good evening. My name's Dan Huff, and I grew up in Gresham, And after I finished college, I moved south and spent 25 years in Southern Oregon, which is a whole different part of the state, and for a whole bunch of reasons. But that's where I was a land use planner. I was a community development director, and decided that's not where I wanted to go. Moved into public works, and did that for quite a while. I am right now the city manager for the city of Molalla and been there since 2013. The reason why McMinnville was on my radar is that it's and the way I would describe this is that you can Google a little bit and you can kind of scratch the surface of what a community really is. But until you're here and you're in a room like this with people and you get to actually speak with people about what they actually think about the community they live in, McMinnville's a place that I could be at and not go anywhere else till I retire, which is 20 years. I'm really only 37, but it's truthful. It's a small town feel. It's not a small city, but it has a small town feel, and you can't build that, because that's what all of you create to make that feeling is its people and the way people think about things. And the mission statement that we got was the number one thing on it was, and it's old, it's like 1993 if I remember right. Is that about right? 93? The community will be part of government. And that's a commitment that your city has, that your council has, and that your staff has, and that's encouraging. I'm going to break a rule and say two things I didn't know about McMinnville. One of them I learned tonight, that your airport actually provides wine tasting tours from people from all over the place. Did you all know that? It's very cool. The other thing is that I came to McMinnville before Christmas when I found out I was being interviewed here, and it was pouring down rain. I was pretty impressed with how many people were walking down the street, because it happened to be the night of the tree lighting. And I went into a couple of shops, and they actually spoke to me with a smile on their face. And then when I did that yesterday, they did it again, and I realized it was true. So, thank you.
Any last volunteers? Oh, there's one. Okay.
Thank you. My name is Ron Foggin. I am currently the city manager for the city of Dallas, Oregon, just down the road. It is a pleasure to be here with you tonight. I would introduce someone tonight, but I got snowed in last night and didn't make it home to get them. So my wife was planning on attending, but the roads were between here and Dallas were just too bad. So I spent the night and have enjoyed the process so far. I want to say that as far as my career is concerned, I have been in the business for almost 20 years now. I've been in the last 4 years in Dallas, and we have really enjoyed it. My family and I have a home there and have kids in school, and we've enjoyed Dallas. The move for me in my career for McMinnville comes because I learned about McMinnville very, very quickly after getting to Dallas and getting introduced to the economic development that was occurring in this community. And I've told this story to some of the panels, and I apologize that you're hearing this again, but I got introduced to Jody Christensen early and have picked her brain and tried to understand the formula that that McMinnville has been involved with to have the economic development that they've had. And I've been in love with the city ever since visiting with Jody, and have watched the position open and close and then open again, and thought, you know what, I don't want to get a couple years down the road in my career and have missed that opportunity to be part of a great community. What I absolutely love about this community is its willingness to embrace champions. I think that for those of you that don't understand what that means for a community, for those people that have passions, that show up and say, I've got a great idea, and they don't get kind of the bums rush out of City Hall, that they actually are listened to. And I think that really happened a number of years ago with economic development, where the city wasn't expected to carry all the water on it, that the business community got together. And so that, for me, makes McMinnville really attractive. It's a nice stretch professionally for me, and the community, I think, offers some opportunities for my family. So that really is why this is the right time for me to be the city manager or to consider this position. Surprising things, right? I have to echo what was stated about the city council. I'm actually very surprised about how well they work together, and that's true that you really would give up a body part to have a council that has good discussion. They make decisions, they don't necessarily agree, but then don't work against each other. And that happens way too often in communities and can really tear communities apart. And that consistency in McMinnville, I think, has made this a great community. Many of you may not know this, but one of the goals that the city set for itself was to be the best city in Oregon. And I think that the council, and what I've seen over the last 4 years, is they're really making that effort. And someone else said two things. I've been just absolutely surprised at the quality of staff and how much they get along, and the camaraderie that they have to make sure that there's success here. And so on that note, I always tell people, you never give the city manager the microphone, because we will use it. So.
Well, I truly didn't tell them this was going to happen, and that was obviously done strategically. Any city manager should be able to speak extemporaneously on a topic they know well for some period of time, and I think they all did marvelously. So, nice job, guys. Thank you very much. So indeed, please take some time to fill out the comment cards, because the City Council will be looking at those tomorrow, so you will have an impact on their thought process by virtue of the fact that you'll be providing substantive input, I'm sure. Mr. Mayor, anything, final words of wisdom for us before we adjourn?
Again, we have another good half an hour to visit with the candidates and have an opportunity for you to get a feel for them and give us comments. Utilize that time, get to know one another as we work in this community. And Greg, thank you for this day. And I look at those that have been a part of the interviewing process today. We've had members of our city staff and our city partners out there. Thank you for a full day of attention and quality input that you've given. It's a process that we need to go through. It's a process that we enjoy going through when we have the purpose in mind of getting the right person to lead this city for the next number of years. So again, thanks for coming out. Enjoy yourself and have an opportunity to meet the candidates. Thank you.